And we're on. Saludos y bienvenidos a todos. Welcome everybody on a happy Sunday, the happy show to the PGP podcast. Hey everybody, Josh the proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA. Ready to rock and roll with you. Wisconsin, Iowa, the Michigan, everywhere. It doesn't matter where at. Thank you for being here. We want to reach out and say thank you. Keep enjoying your summer. You're about to get started like I am tomorrow with your scholars. Welcome back. Getting everything going. But thank you for giving us your time. You know, one thing that's not a guarantee, it's time. And you're giving it to us. Either you're watching it live or you're watching it on the rebroadcast. Thank you very much. Don't forget that you've got two awesome people right here with 63 years, 63 años. We ain't faking the funk of experience, and it's about bringing the whole country together on this podcast, the PGP podcast. So we want to make sure that you help us out, like and share the show. Like and share the show. You know what? We've had a lot of growth on YouTube right now. Help us get to 285. I know, hey, our numbers are this big, but the knowledge is this big. All of our shows will be about top talent in education. We're not a specific type of show. We have everything: culture, discipline, a budget, how to prepare for your retirement, retirees. We've got former students. We've got board members, parents next week. We've got everything that has to do with education right here. It's a one shop for all right here. So we can please help us out. Like and share the show right now. Go to YouTube, Josh Tawad. Click on the little button and help us out with that algorithm. And if you want to be part of the show, reach out. DM us on whatever social platform that you have, either Moreno or myself, and I can guarantee there will be a show for you right now. But without further ado, the Cougars, Houston, the Spiders, the Tanzanians, right here, La Moreno. ¿Qué hubo, Mari? ¿Cómo estás?
I'm doing great, Josh. Thank you so much for asking. It's a beautiful day. You know what? It was raining outside and now it's like 120 degrees again. So, it's Houston. This is the way it is and life goes on, but I'm excited, Josh. I just purchased my ticket to go back to Tanzania, buddy. Can you believe it? Yeah, ya me voy otra vez. But
Dude, you just got here from the hippopotamus, dude. You just got here from the hyenas.
Josh, I just arrived and I literally booked my flight like I guess a week after I set foot in the US. So yeah, I'm heading back in November. But super excited.
All
I've
right,
been
well,
busy. I've been super busy. You said you're starting school tomorrow, and so we're doing lots of back to school professional developments right now. I'm actually going to San Antonio next week. So yeah, busy, busy, busy. I love it. It keeps me busy, but you know what? I play and then I go have fun. And then
I
I
love it.
I work again and then I go back to Tanzania. So yeah, super excited and working really hard, of course. I'm
There
excited
you
about
go.
your kids tomorrow.
There we go. The Jaguars are back in town, and that's part of the Chinchilagua moment. Chinchilagua moment. Erica, you know what Chinchilagua is? You're like, how do you eat that on in churrito? No, you don't eat that at Taco Bell, Erica. Sheldon, you know what a Chinchilagua is? No, that does not go with tapatillas or enchiladas. Danny,
How
I know
about
Danny knows. Danny's an
chimichangas?
international cat. Chimichangas, exactly. Danny's all over the world. That guy is in this part of the world, this part. Chinchilagua is a Mexican game where during every festival, holiday, you line up all your cousins, your grandmas, your tias, and it becomes a human pyramid. You yell, Chinchilagua y arriba, boy! And you run and you jump on top of your grandma. Then you run and you jump on top of your aunt. You jump on top of your little cousin, and then it all comes crashing down. It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, right? It's all fun. Sheldon, you know about that, right? It's always fun and games until those backpacks start flying. Well, my Chichilagua moment is this. Hey, we're starting school already. That's it. I know New England. You don't want us to talk about it. I got you. All right, but you know what? Us in the South, we're already going for it. And my moment is this. You know what? It's so fun that you see all these pictures of people first day at school, and they take their little pictures of their school uniforms or their backpacks, and it's a great feeling. Myself having two kids now in high school, one in elementary, taking those pictures. It's a beautiful event. That's why I'm asking right now, parents, let's have grace with the schools. If the bus is late, parents, I can guarantee you that the bus driver did not want to be late and hear you. If the bus route is missing the badge system, I'm sorry, it's not knowing. If your high school kid is missing a class period, I'm sorry, the counselor did not just want to target you and missing that schedule. All right. Things happen when you're dealing, like in Texas. I can't speak for other schools in other districts. We're talking about 3,000 kids, 2,500 kids. When you're scheduling 8 periods, things are going to get lost in regards to the human factor of it.
Yes.
When we ask you, really, guys, when we ask you that we need a certain number of crayons, a certain number of disinfectants, do you know that kids break a whole box of crayons by accident sometimes? It happens. I was in elementary for almost a year. I'm like, how could you have broken all your crayons? How does that happen? Because they're just messing around. They're not focusing. They just start, it breaks. So when we ask you for that, we ask you for supplies. We ask you for schedule situations. When we ask you, you know what? Help us out. First of all, drive slow. Please let the buses go by. Don't cut in front. And you know what? Send letters to those teachers. You already got their schedules, or you're soon going to have their schedules. Send those teachers like a, hey, I'm here for you. Your school might not have a parent meet the teacher night. Your school might not have that kind of stuff. Reach out to them. An education of a child is not just the teacher or the school. It's a three-way situation. It's the parent, the kid, and the school. And we all need to work together to ensure the success of the child. But that means open communication. It's not just a one way, and you only find the flaws. So keep that in the back of your mind as we're starting the school year. The bus does not want to be late because of you. The bus has issues sometimes putting all those routes and stops in one computer system. The badges, the ID badges, stuff happens, it breaks down. Yeah, if your school doesn't have air conditioning the first day, you know what? We didn't mean to break it. We didn't want to make anyone miserable. If you're in elementary, no, not all of you can go in and drop off your pre-K kid or your kinder kid because everyone's crying, and that just messes up the kid's mindset the first week of school. That's why we ask you, just drop them off right there and avoid drama. So give us grace because we're pretty good at what we do, all right? In education, we know what we're doing, but everyone always has an opinion about it because you attended school. Well, I got you. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that you know what it is now, 2026, post-COVID. You were a student back then. All we're asking for, and I ask for you out there, please give the educators some grace the first couple of weeks. As we're getting into the system, we're not looking to make sure to create chaos or bring that dark cloud over anyone's head. We're doing our best. I can guarantee you all summer, we didn't prepare to make a mistake the first day. But things happen. So give us grace. Make a connection with your school. Make a connection with the administration, with the counselors, with your teachers, and build that strong bridge that you and I know, parent, we're going to need in November. You know what I'm talking about, November? You and I know about that bridge right before state testing in March. We need to build that bridge and build credit card in each other's credit. Moreno, what do you think?
Josh, it's all about flexibility and being patient. You know, it's crazy right now, the amount of traffic outside right now. So I also have to remember that when school starts, there's more people out in the streets. So again, we have to just think about, you know, if your husband or somebody is going to work, just know that there's more traffic out there and we need to be patient. And that's number one. Number two, Josh, you're absolutely right. When you have 3,000 schedules, there's no way I could see 3,000 schedules and make sure you have 1 through 8 on there. So again, be flexible and give yourself some time. We have 3,000 kids we have to take care of. So you have to be patient and just say, you know what, I need to schedule an appointment and not, be upset about it. It's going to be okay for the first week of school anyways. It's all about flexibility and, trying to help each other out. So I love the fact that you said it was a 3. It is a triad. So please be patient. And again, you're absolutely right, Josh. You're making me laugh because we didn't wait all summer to say, how are we going to screw it up today? We definitely don't want that. and we don't want to feel miserable ourselves. You think we break our air conditioning because we want to feel miserable? Absolutely not. So, we get it, but please, it's just crazy. It's a crazy time, but you know what? With time, it all passes and everything works out great. So just be patient and everything's going to be awesome. And it's the 26-27 school year. That's awesome. I can't believe it. Josh, another year for you.
One more, number 34, number 34. We'll see how that goes on 34. And you know what? Today's the happy show, and we have some rock stars like always for the happy show. So in case you missed any of the past ones, you could go back to episode 97, 77, 56, 43, and 32. It's almost football season. We had great guests like Todd Neslony, Allison Aspie, Kim Strobert, Tom Murray, Laura Williams, Katie Kinder, Dave Burgess, Chip Baker, Ray Hewhart, and the list goes on and on for this show, because you know what? We're here to inspire you now, educator. We're here. And when I said this the other time, Mari's looking at me like, bro, what are you talking about? You know that during summer, all educators take pictures of their toenails. They're by the pool, and I see a bunch of people's feet by the pool with their adult beverage. And I'm like, all right, some of you are still by the pool showing me your toes. How about you break out the PGP podcast and you hear these awesome rock star educators ready to inspire you and motivate you? Panel, thank you very much for being here. Moreno Stick.
The happy show number 6. I'm excited because this is the show that helps inspire all of us out there, because it's a back to school time and we want to hear those awesome stories. So thank you so much for being here this afternoon or this evening with us. So before we get started, guys, I want to make sure everybody knows who we are and our backgrounds, and making sure that everybody can connect with us. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Erica. That's just to my right here. Erica, I want you to please tell everybody in the audience what your current role is, and give us a little background on the different roles you've served in education. Which one was your favorite and why?
Ooh, good question. It's like picking your favorite kid. How do you do that? My name is Erica Sandstrom. I'm known better as Green Screen Gal. I was dubbed that many years ago. If any of you followed what I do, I've been teaching actually 34 years after this year. Josh and I will be celebrating together.
Wow.
And I in 3 different school districts in 2 different states. So I was out in the Midwest. Actually, I live in Boston area now, and I'm from New England. But I started off in 4th grade for 2 years, 5th grade. Then I moved to St. Louis from Kansas City for 2 years of 6th grade, all subjects. And then when I moved back east, I landed a 3rd grade job and started. That's when the internet and all these things were invented. And then, well, actually in 1995. But I became obsessed with technology. My ADHD, very good at it, by the way. I'm excellent poster child for that. And I just loved technology. So I became a tech facilitator. Is that what they called them back then? And teaching 3rd grade. And I had a happy life. And then the middle school principal came and plucked me right out of my job and said, you're going to run the tech department up here and teach technology at the middle school. I didn't know what I was doing. So I've been at the middle school level since 2004, teaching something I now call digital media. So I teach kids about all the careers you can have in media, beyond being a YouTuber, like video production, animation, even music production, all of these things.
All the fun things.
Yeah, all the fun things. And this green screen has become my best friend. So that's what I do now. And I also run a mindfulness club. So all of that has been combined, that I now call my work mindful media. So that is what I'm known for. That was a lot. What was my favorite? I have to say 3rd grade. What a great age. I mean, they turning 8 to 9, their figurative language comes in, so they don't even laugh at your jokes at first until 2nd semester. But it's just, they're just amazing humans. They love their teachers. They love school. So.
They're babies. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you so much, Erica. Love that. Let's see. Let's go to Danny. Danny, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about your different roles and a little background, and which one was your favorite and why.
Yeah, thank you. I think I've worn all the hats, honestly, right? From teacher to 2 roles in central office. I think still my favorite was teacher. I just love having the relationships, building those with students, playing games, just doing all the fun stuff, and really helping them, open doors to things they might not see. So a quick story is, I'm standing at the finish line of the Chicago Marathon, and I've already finished, thank God, because it's such a pain, 26.2 miles. But the best
Bless
part,
you.
yeah, right. The best part though is not me finishing; it's seeing my students finish. Because over 3 years, I invited students to run this race with me, and I went into every homeroom and just asked who's saved a life before and who needs service learning hours to graduate. So obviously, a lot of hands went up for service learning, not many hands for saving somebody's life. But the reason why I said that is we helped raise and fund clean water projects all around the world. And so kids did that, which was like the good philanthropic part of the race. But then they did something really hard. So back to the finish line, right? As kids cross that finish line, and then they would say to me, Mr. Bauer, I could do anything. That was everything. That was everything for me. I still get goosebumps, remembering that. And it's certainly the best time of my life.
Hmm.
Wow. Are you from Chicago or?
Chi-Town, first place White Sox. Bears coming for the Super Bowl. Beating those Houston Texans again. Watch out. So
You must hate me. I'm Red Sox.
Hey, I'm just saying because I was born in Chi-Town, so I'm just saying.
But
But I'm a Cubbies. I'm a Cubbies
Oh,
from the
I'm
the
so
west
sorry.
side.
Lo
so.
siento, lo siento.
We'll have to talk later, but yes. Oh, that's so cool. So are you still in Chicago?
No, unfortunately, well, I'm in Syracuse, New York. Life's brought me
Okay.
to, I think, 5 different states, 4 different countries I've lived in. So I'm up here in Syracuse, New York right now.
Awesome, awesome. That makes you fabulous. You said you were in other countries. You live there? In other
Belgium,
countries?
Netherlands, yeah, Glasgow, Scotland, as well as the United States.
Wow. Love it, love it. Want to hear some awesome stories eventually. So awesome. Nice to meet you, Danny.
Nice to meet you too.
Dr. Eakins talked. Did I say that correctly? Eakins?
Akins.
Akins. Okay, sorry. So Dr. Akins, talk to us. Tell us where you're at and tell me some of the roles that you have served in education. Which one's your favorite and why?
Yeah, thank you. And it looks like Ekins, by the way. So I get it all the time. So no worries there.
I'm going to correct that in my notes.
I live here in South Phoenix, Arizona, and I supervise a behavior support program by day. So I work with students who have been placed in a self-contained classroom setting. So it's kind of like a mini principal in a sense, because our
Yeah.
program is district wide, but it's a smaller program housed at one of our elementary schools in the district. So we started school last week. I
What?
know. I don't. Last year, the school I was at, they started in July, and I never would think you could start school in July, but it happened. So we just barely crossed over into August, and tomorrow is week 2. This is so.
Wow.
But before that, I've served in a few capacities. I started off as a history teacher, so that was my bread and butter. So middle and high was kind of my thing. I really enjoyed it. My first teaching post was in the Virgin Islands, so I had the opportunity to work overseas
Wow.
and learn the culture. So a quick moment that, as I was listening to Danny, that kind of stood out to me was, it's part of the United States. So, Washington, D.C. and everything, they have representative. And so I took a group of my history class. I took them to a historical trip to Washington, D.C. And they got so excited. The students got so excited with seeing a squirrel, their first squirrel ever. And I never would have thought that was a big deal. I mean, when I tell you taking pictures, running around, screaming and hollering, just so excited for their first sighting of a squirrel. And, it just really got me thinking. I was like, man, there's a lot of things that I take for granted when it comes
Yeah.
to like resources, access to stuff. And it's just seeing them just get so excited about something I've seen so many times. That's honestly, it can be annoying sometimes, right? To me.
Yes.
And just seeing them just light up for that moment, and this is first year teaching, so this is just like, oh man, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to be an educator. I want to stay in this space because I love seeing those little moments that your students have, little stuff you don't think would be a big deal, that are such big deals for them,
Yeah.
and it just grows from there. So that's a little bit about me. So I would say the thing that I love the most out of anything else, which is always history. That was always my thing. And if I ever had to go back to the classroom, it would be history.
Awesome. What amazing backgrounds with all of you. Oh my goodness, Josh, we're gonna have a fantastic evening together.
Sure, exactly. And I want to know, you didn't correct me. I forgot to mention they were part of the Fantastic Four network. Oh my Dios mío. ¿Qué pasó, Mari? Throw the chancla at me. Hit me in my big fat head. Don't forget that. You can always check us out. Part of these 4 podcasts, totally different, but always the same. Every Saturday on Facebook Live at 10 o'clock. Starting with Sean Hurd, who's on the call right now. I know you got your test scores. That's the cat to call right now. No matter if you're in Alaska or you're in Florida, call Sean Hurd. He'll break it down for you right there. At 10:30, Dr. Shika Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor. They're all about the culture. They were told by their superintendent, change the scores or you're out. And they raised your campus level 2 letter grades and another one 3 letter grades in 1 year. Pop. You can't go wrong with that right there. And what can we say about it at 11 o'clock? We don't need to mention any more than El Jefe, Principal Baruti Kafele, on 11 o'clock. Join him, check him out. And we are the closing hitter every Sunday right here, the PGP podcast. Shout out to Constance Sherrard. Thank you for being here from Mississippi. Dodd McKeever Jeter, our number 1 cheerleader of the Fantastic Four. Thank you for being here. Sean Hurd, like I said, thank you for being here. And Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu from Oklahoma. We pretty much got the whole country. We need some more West Coast people here on the call right now. But let's go into the next area right now. We're going to start off with you, Sheldon, right now. Very simple. The Happy Show is about inspiring people right now. They have their piña coladas by their hot tub. Right now, they're allegedly reading by the sea. All right, whatever. Okay. How about we let's peel back that onion a little bit, all right? Let's not fake the funk. Sheldon, tell the people out there, tell the peeps, especially that brand new teachers are going to start off. How was your first year in the classroom? Not only that, how was your first year in the classroom, but let the audience know, what role did your parents play in helping you reach your current status as a professional, as an educator? Go.
So the first question is, how's my first year? That was overseas. As I mentioned, I was in the Virgin Islands. So, I shared a little bit already about just to paying attention to the little things that I probably wouldn't have thought was a big deal, but just like that was like, okay, I chose the right profession. This is where I want to be. So I was teaching Virgin Islands. I got a chance because I was a history teacher. I had the opportunity to learn about the U.S. history, U.S. Virgin Islands history, because I taught the class. And so that really engulfed me in the culture and the community, the language. I mean, we speak English there. I was the one with the accent. So it was an opportunity for me to adjust to, again, things that I was just so used to. And again, I was young. I was young and I didn't know a lot of things. And I took all the teacher classes and all the teacher trainings and all the theories and frameworks and observations, but nothing really prepared me for my experiences in the Virgin Islands. And they were good experiences. And a lot of the stuff that I experienced there and the strategies and things I learned from the community that I was serving has really just have continued to be on. That was almost 20 years ago. So that was there. As far as my parents go, I would say my dad is probably one of the hardest working men that I know. He's supposed to have retired like 3 years ago, and he's still, him and we're getting on a plane this week, as a matter of fact, to go to Kansas City to do some training together. So he's just continues to work. And he has been my motivation and inspiration. He's got his doctorate. And so like a lot of the things that I do has been modeled off of the things that he's done. My mom also has been really very supportive for me and my family and just been helpful, will give me advice and kind of sharing her thoughts on things. She's always was really good with the house and and just raising me and my siblings together. So those would be my inspirations when it comes to where I'm at as an educator and my experiences my first year.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Hey, you can't go wrong con papá y mamá right there in el corazón. Yeah. Hey, we just got a shout out from California, Stacy L. Joy. We got the 50. Well, maybe we could get a Hawaiian out there. We get the whole 50 covered, but we got everybody coast to coast. Señorita Erica.
Hola, mi amigo. Erika. Same question?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you're going to make me cry. I love your story, by the way. That was a beautiful story. I started off my first year teaching, was a substitute year. My first real classroom in 1993, I believe, 5th grade in Belmont, Missouri. And this was a small little, it's changed a lot, a small little town, very different than New England, very different mindset. And that was tough for me at first, just because I come from Connecticut. I was born and raised in Connecticut and grew up in New York City. But anyway, I was out there. My mom's from the Midwest, and she always said, Erica, you're too nice for New England. You need to go out there. So I went out to college, out at William Jewell College at Kansas City. That's why I was out there. And uncles, cousins, everything. But when I was teaching, I remember, this is actually not a fun story, but at first, my first day, I wanted to be prepared. So this is textbook days, and I decided to put because I wanted the kids to have a welcome on their desk, with something that welcomed them, and not just because they told us to put our books for the kids on the desk. And I said, you know what? I want my students to come into more of a welcoming environment. So I put all their books on the floor. Little did you know, we had a huge rainstorm. And the only classroom whose ceiling collapsed was mine. Yes. First day, I had a polka dot dress on, brand new teacher, right out of college, 22 years old. Yeah, so I flooded my room and all my books, every single one. So, but you know what? I learned that day how resilient I am. I actually had a really good day. The kids, we worked around it, and we had they made us stay in the room, and we had a tarp with a hose in the middle of the room for weeks, and it became part of the curriculum. When I was teaching the solar system, it became the Earth. We had our rainstorm, we had our tornado. It actually became something. So that was my first year, but it was a magical year because I just kept calling creative. I'm so creative. Like when I taught the moon phases, a lot of teachers have done this with Oreo cookies, where you give for their final test, they get 4 cookies and they have to use a little plastic knife to make the moon phases. And I just kept getting praised for that. And that's because of my parents. That's because of my parents. My dad's watching right now. He was texting me how to get on the show. They're 87 and almost 88. They're amazing. They're both artists. And my mom, she had 4 daughters. So, she was busy. She was also in nursing for a while, but my dad's an engineer who's been through a lot. He was born and raised in Sweden, and at age 17, he had to come over here on his own with some difficulties over in Europe. And my dad is Jewish, and I don't have to tell you the reasons why, but he came to and put himself through college, and he was an engineer and with dyslexia and ADD himself. But the man is the most brilliant man I know. But my parents were always pushing creativity, always crafts and painting and this. And when I was a kid, my mom would plan a birthday party in the front yard, and guess who would plan a whole curriculum in the backyard? So my sister said I stole their birthday parties, but I had prizes and everything. So I knew from a very young age, from my parents encouraging me and myself, just how I was, and babysitting and camp counselor and all that I was going to be a teacher. I always thought it would be an art teacher just because of all the art, but now I went from regular ed all the way to, hey, I'm the go-to person for video production. And who knew computers and internet? I have yellow chalk underneath my fingernails. So that I think is a bit of a story there. But yes, my parents are incredible. I'm very lucky to have these, and I'm named after my dad. His name is Eric. If you know how to, Dad, try the chat box. You know how to do this. Hit the chat.
I love it. Thank you, Dad. You gotta love parents that love you that much. You can't go wrong with that right there.
I'm
And
not married.
hey,
I don't, I don't have my own kids. So my parents are my people. So yeah.
there you go. There you go. A shout out to Otis Kitchens Jr. from Florida, California representing. Now we got Florida in the house. Thank you, Otis, for being here. Giving shouts out there to Sheldon. Joven Daniel, platícanos. Tell us.
I think the first year, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but it was hard. It was tiring, right? I want to be real. And I remember speaking to my mentor, teacher, Tucker Smith. So shout out to Tucker. And he just grabbed me one day. He's like, Danny, you look ragged, right? Like, what's going on? And I broke down. I broke down in that moment. I was telling him. But the thing that I want a new teacher to understand, because I don't know, they didn't teach me this in teacher school. Anything I assigned, I gave feedback on. I really wanted students to learn from everything we did with intention. And I thought I needed to give feedback on every piece of activities that we did. So whether that was like an exit ticket, to as big as an essay or whatever, literally everything got feedback. And he's like, what are you doing? You don't have to grade everything, right? You can give specific feedback to a student that applies to everybody and so on and so forth. But yeah, it was tiring. So I think for new teachers, I would say take care of yourself. I mean, I tell principals to do that in all the work that I do with school leaders. And nobody's going to prioritize you but you. And new teachers, veteran teachers, new administrators, veteran administrators, they're not going to like me saying this, but it's not called district care. It's not called self-care. It's not called campus care, right? But sorry, it is called self-care, right? It's all about you. Not campus, not school, not district. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself. So, make sure you eat well, sleep well, connect with your people, do things that fill you up so that you can pour into your students. Because it is hard, but it's absolutely rewarding. I don't know a job that's more rewarding than what we do. Now, I could talk about parents, and they've obviously had a big influence on me. But the biggest reason I actually became a teacher, my best friend's dad, Mr. Brogan, who lived kitty corner behind us in Palatine, Illinois. He was a very successful tradesman on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And he had everything, right? You see Sheldon with all the Jordans behind him. His son, Johnny, literally had every single Jordan that I did not have, right? Because my mom wouldn't buy them for me. She said they were too expensive, right? And that made me say, I wanted Jordans. Everybody had the Jordans. They had a beautiful car. They had a phone in their car back in the day, right? Like I was amazed. They had a second house. What? A summer house that you just go to in the summer because you just got it like that. So they had all these wonderful things in terms of stuff. And I equated that money to success. So I asked this guy, what should I be when I grow up? And I'll never forget his response because it influenced everything I do. And he said, Danny, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have been a trader. My life would have meant more if I had chosen to be a teacher. Can you imagine that? And in that moment, I was like, cool, I'll be a teacher then. Because somebody I admired and respected so much, who wasn't even in the field, saw the value in what we do. And that's what I went to school for, become a teacher.
Qué bonito. Dios mío santo, los tres. Qué bonito. Great 3 stories. Love you sharing that. And that's why we're in the best profession. The profession that creates all the other professions, education. And we love having these awesome panelists. Before I hand it over to you, Central Hicks from Texas, thank you for being here. And out of Ghana, Da Costa Ajito, thank you for being here, my brother. God bless you. Love you over there in Ghana. Thank you for sharing your thoughts as you always do on the PGP podcast. Moreno, stick.
Awesome. Thank you guys. What a beautiful story. All of you had beautiful stories. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's kind of move on a little bit about kind of what we're here today. So today you're spreading your message across the country. So I'm excited about that. And we're going to go ahead and have Danny. I'm going to have you start off with this question. So tell us about a time you connected with an educator who was going through a tough time. How were you able to help them work through their way to get out of that bad situation?
It's like every day for me, right? Because I mean, honestly, that's what I do. I support school leaders, and they see some crazy stuff and need to be
Yeah.
level set, every single day. Um, I'm gonna give a very simple answer because I talked about for new teachers, right? Good eating, sleeping, connect with friends, unplug from
Mm-hmm.
work, all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I call it the fundamentals. But honestly, anytime I speak to a school leader and the sky's falling, everything's like ruined, that kind of deal, and they're just really stuck in their mindset, I ask them about the fundamentals and they're always off. They're always off every
Mm.
single time. So either they're not sleeping because they're working too late at night, right? They're not taking care of themselves in terms of food. I know Sheldon and I are really into fitness. Josh is always like, Josh, what, you waking up at like 3 in the morning to work out or
He
something?
is.
I wake
Yes.
up and I've already been tagged and my podcast is like promoted. I love that so much, hermano, senor. Thank you so much. Gracias. I really appreciate that. But the fundamentals are off, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first step. After that, we could get into the strategy and that kind of thing. But fundamentals are in your control, and not working in isolation also in your control. Unless you're stupid, right? If you're an idiot, then you do things on your own and you don't ask for help and you think you have all the answers and then you crash and burn out. And that's because you're dumb. But
Lay it,
if
Danny. Lay
yeah,
it.
I mean, if you're smart, right, and you want to sustain, you connect with others and you ask for help. You
Mm-hmm.
admit that you don't have the answers, and you also don't have to be the biggest dog in the room. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
to me, it's all about community, collaboration, and that kind of thing. Taking care of yourself, so the themes and the answers will, generally be the same. So, hopefully, that works for you.
Yeah, administrators are really, really big, right? And that because they kind of feel like they're carrying all of the issues that happen in a school.
Mm,
And so those are the first, right? Educators or administrators are the ones that are kind of feeling they're carrying most of the burden. So they're quick to burn out really fast. And school just started or hasn't started, and they already kind of feel the pressure. So awesome. I love the fact that you're saying to disconnect.
Can I add one thing to that though? Because I
Yeah,
actually
go
just
ahead.
had I had so I have transcripts from coaching school leaders for over 10 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
recently had Claude Code sort of analyze and categorize over 700 coaching transcripts from over the years, one on one, me and another school leader. And I was asking it, what are some like non obvious insights that I tend to share with school leaders? And one of them that I didn't even recognize that I do. I often say you're the greatest opportunity and bottleneck of your campus, which is true. But what it pointed out to me, which I find really interesting, is this idea that if you're carrying everything on your shoulders, all the weight, right, of the campus within yourself, that does like create an artificial ceiling to what the campus can achieve, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're keeping it all to yourself, you're not delegating, you're not asking for help, you're not building a team effectively either. So that's one thing just to note, right? If you already feel that weight and it's day one, week one, right? You need to start reaching out. Like reaching out is the way that you're going to get through that.
I love that. I love that idea, especially because we're right now in back to school season, right? And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
all the educators listening to this podcast right now is going to listen to what you're saying and actually, hopefully, food for thought, right? Start thinking about what are they doing so that they can make sure that they don't burn out the first month of school. Because guess what? It's a long road and it's a long year, and we're just getting started. So
Yeah, but some
great
of them might be
advice.
in their feelings because I called them stupid for working alone, and so
No.
they might be feeling bad and sorry for themselves. But after that little pity party, get
Mhm.
connected, and they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes you just have to kind of lay it like it is, and
Tough
we
love.
just have to hear sometimes the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I appreciate you just being open and just being honest. And guess what? I want them to feel better. So hopefully they kind of, you know, start kind of really putting that mirror, right, Josh? Looking yourself in the mirror and really looking at yourself and saying, what can I do better? So thanks, Danny, for sharing those thoughts. Dr. Akins, talk to me, my friend. Tell us about a time when you connected with an educator who was going through a tough time, and what were you or how were you able to help them?
You know, I kind of like Danny was saying that that's daily for me. We, as I mentioned, I work in a behavior support program. Students are they spend the entire day basically with one teacher, and we've had some crisis moments. One that really stood out to me, just in relevance to this conversation, was last year. We had a student that he had a history of getting overwhelmed and becoming escalated to a point where safety was a concern. And
Mhm.
this particular day, this student, and so the teacher and I have been communicating. We had developed a safety protocol for this particular student. So we had a program, but this particular student received his own type of, I guess, interventions when he became escalated. But this moment required. We thought he might hurt himself in a way that might have been his last day, and the teacher intervened in a way that just shook her and her staff. And there's two paraprofessionals in there, and she had a really hard time. She was One of the paras was about ready to quit and said, I can't come back to this classroom in this situation again. I never want to see that again. And the teacher herself, she was struggling as well. Now, one of the things I've always done in regards to school leadership and administrator is developing a personal relationship with my staff. I think it's important to be vulnerable myself, in addition to, because if I'm asking a teacher or a staff member to bring their full self, I need to be doing the same thing. I've always considered myself a servant leader, in which I would never ask a staff member to do something I wouldn't do myself.
Mhm.
And it did require some counseling in regards to our social worker was able to support the classroom. But I sat and talked to the teacher one-on-one, and because she was kind of on the fence as far as, does she want to come back, because it was really traumatic. I'm not going to go into it, but it was very traumatic experience. And so she shared with me kind of what her goals were, what she wanted to do down the road, like long-term stuff. And I learned a lot about her in that moment. Like, you know how again, I have personal relationship, but there was some stuff that I didn't know about in regards to her family, and just kind of her country of origin, and just a lot of things about her growing up, and why that moment was so pivotal for her as far as deciding, do I want to come back next year, let alone tomorrow. Um, so it was a nice bonding opportunity. It's unfortunate that it took that experience in
Mhm.
order for us to
Mhm.
have share that moment. However, like, even this, again, we started school last week, and so we start tomorrow, and just the interactions that she and I have had already, I think a lot of the foundation had been built last year, and it just continued on. So it just, anybody that's out there that's working with staff and have a team and things like that, it's always good. I always recommend, you got to develop those relationships, not just with your kids, but also with your staff as well.
With your adults. Yes, the
Mhm.
adults. Sometimes we forget about
Yeah.
that. We as adults also have trauma and also have, things that happen. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And Erica, I know you have a story for me. I know you do.
Me, a story? Come on now. We don't have time. First of all, do any of you all have openings at your schools? I would love to work for these three beautiful souls. Wow. I've been the girl who's been trying to convince, not that my district isn't wonderful, but just to convince them of having a mindfulness program and letting me take charge of that. But anyway, I first of all, I want to thank all the educators who's been there for me during my tough times. We all have them, and my administrator,
Hmm.
my boss just left this year, and I'm so sad. But honestly, I'm a yoga instructor, but that doesn't mean that I was always mindful. I was the neurotic yoga instructor. Who has anxiety, who has ADD, who has all these things. I mean, you can tell in my videos that my energy. But
I think you're the type of instructor I need.
yeah, I'm a real deal. I don't come in there all fluffy and not that I don't go to those people too. They're amazing. But here's the thing I've learned, and not just from yoga, just from being a teacher this long and teaching middle school, self-regulation is so important. And I'm kind of known as that person. Hey, you got to go see Erica before you go talk to anybody. Don't go down to the office and don't do this. Go see Erica. And what it is I help them self-regulate. Not only just breathing techniques, also a way to bring you back with your 5 senses to the present moment, just so they can get out of fight or flight and breathe and be back in their body. And the thing is, too, with stress, we as humans know that we can talk about our stress. You can talk about and talk it through. But the thing is, it gets trapped in your body. I mean, I know, and the first thing I ask them is, where do you feel it in your body right now? And most of the time it's their chest. Sometimes it's in their throat. Sometimes it's their back. My lower back is what I get like a knife feeling when I get really stressed. And that's trapped emotion. So I will do like things like Qigong. We'll do some, I would show you, but I'd knock my green screen over. We do all kinds of things, jump up and down. So I help them, make them laugh a little. Just let's pull this out of your body first. And then we can talk about it more mindfully. So that's kind of what I really try with my own students. Even though I teach digital media, it is a regular practice for us to stop and breathe. The kids will stop the class if I get too crazy. So like, Miss Asham, you need to breathe. All right, can everybody now? Let's and it's just a really powerful thing to understand that when kids are stressed, they can't learn, and when teachers are stressed, they can't teach. And we have the responsibility, as these gentlemen have already said, that it's up to us to choose self-care or whatever you want to call it, because your energy affects everybody and it affects your day. And you're actually hurting children if you don't learn to do that, to step away, and to have administrators like this that would probably have support for you so you can get out of fight or flight. And I don't know, I'm just a huge advocate for it. That's why this breathing bubble I've created, kids personalize it. I have the teachers create one too, just to normalize breathing in the classroom, normalize self-regulation, make it fun. And that's kind of how I help people. So I have a million stories like that, and even ones for myself. People will throw my yoga mat at me. Hey, take your own advice. Go take a breath. So yeah.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Thank you so much, all of you guys. If all of you out there, if you guys are enjoying this conversation, I know some of you guys are in the chat saying that they're enjoying this conversation. Please remember to like and share it. Like and share the podcast. Go to YouTube. We want to go up in our numbers, so please make sure you subscribe to Josh's channel on the YouTube channel, so that we can kind of, again, spread the word, spread the knowledge, and make sure everybody's listening to these stories, because there's some amazing stories, Josh.
Fabulous. I tell you, rock stars. Puro concierto aquí, puro Kiss Alive, baby, all the way. Big shout out to Rella Hicks. Thank you for being here. Y mi carnal from Richmond, Virginia, Dr. George Valenzuela. Gracias por estar aquí, hermano. Blessings to you out there. All right. You know what? All of us, and this is going to be one of those complicated questions. We all get that invisible paycheck. You know what I'm talking about, Danny? That invisible paycheck. When we connect with that scholar, when we connect with that kid, and they come up with us, and they might have been the hardest kid out there that no one wanted to deal with, but they went up to you, or maybe it was a kid that was very quiet, whatever it was, and they said, because of you, this. Just like Danny gave the story about that stockbroker, I want you to go back into your card catalog. Yes, that's how old I am. And some of you don't know what I just said, and I don't care. Go back into your card catalog, and I know there's 10 billion or 5 billion or 1,000, whatever it might be. But go into that one story, and that's a happy show, because we forget those invisible paychecks that we cash in. Yes, we don't get paid enough, but you know what? Those are spiritual. Those words that those scholars give us is totally something different that goes beyond financial gain. So, Daniel, I'm going to start off with you, Senor Joven Bauer. Go back into your card catalog or your AI self voice projected device that you've created and look into that. Give one story about one scholar that you connected with, and you're like, damn, that's why I'm an educator.
Yeah, I think about Mike, Franklin Middle School, tough kid. Sheldon was describing a tough kid too. And it was one that literally even in through 6th or 8th grade, he made adults scared at times. But that was just because he didn't, like Erica would talk about, know how to like regulate and deal with his emotions as they were coming up. I don't know. We connected well. I had a soft spot in my heart for him and his sister. And his parents weren't in the picture. Grandma was raising them, and I got permission, from the school and obviously from grandma. But I'd pick them up. I'd pick them up to school, right? And I'd bring them to the library and make them do homework. And it was like a big brother, little brother sort of relationship for a while. But yeah, if he had a blow up or something like that, the administrators would bring him to me, not to the principal. Right. And we just figured things out. I talked to him normal, and calmly, and things generally worked out. Right. He helped me move. So I moved back up to Chicago. This was in Champaign, Illinois, is where Franklin Middle School is. And hopefully this inspired him. This is more just funny, but I'll never forget after him helping me pack up the truck, like there was box after box after heavy box. And he looks, he peeks in like, what's going on? Books! Like, how does somebody have so many boxes of books? But I could talk to Mike about how knowledge is power, right? And losing yourself in story, right? And finding stories too that represent you and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you could have a lot of books. This is a cool thing, and I hope you have a lot of books one day as well. So I love that kid. I hope he's doing well today, but definitely had a big part in my life back when I was a teacher there at Franklin Middle.
Qué bonito. Muchas gracias, Danny. Qué bonito. Erica, talk to us.
I'm going in the archives, and I actually have several, but I'll try to focus on one. One funny one is Billy. I had Billy. He stayed back in 3rd grade, so he was the only ones that actually got my jokes first semester because he wasn't 9. He was already 9. But his dad runs Comcast up here in New England, and I got a great deal on my Comcast. But he just said that I was always inspirational to him. But one student that really keeps popping in my brain right now, he's all over my YouTube channel too, is named Achilles. Achilles has Down syndrome, and he literally saved me as much as I saved him. Okay, I tell you, my heart just explodes thinking about him. Achilles was always a friendly guy, but he wasn't doing his schoolwork. He was very charming and fun, but he wasn't really doing what we knew he could do. He was very shut down. And then the first day he came in my classroom, he saw this thing. And he's like, what is this? And obviously it built into something that's basically turned into the Achilles show. But what happened was Achilles would run in my room and he'd stand in the doorway. He'd go, because he didn't talk much. He'd go, did somebody say green screen? And he'd come running in. And I said, okay, Achilles, the rule. We have to think of our story. We have to find our footage. We have to practice on the green screen. So the green screen to me isn't about technology. This is about an experience. That's why I say this technology is still very powerful. But Achilles didn't have long fingers, so he couldn't type. So he would use the iPad. And we have this app called the Do Ink app. It's amazing for kids, especially special needs kids. And he would look up all his own footage, and you'll see it on my YouTube. He always has Barney in it. I know, they would come after me if I ever sold it, but I would never. Barney is in every single one of his videos. And he would come up with these scenarios, and he would tell the story, and he would even write the story for his teacher about what him and Barney were going to do that day. And but anyway, just watching this kid and his teacher cries over it. She's like, that was a changed child after that. He started doing his work. He started making friends. He started being more of what we knew he could be. And she keeps saying it's because of this thing and because of my class. So that's just one of many stories. I have lots of stories of kids writing me in their 30s. Thank you for that breathing bubble. It's been around a while. And they're like, you helped me with anxiety all through high school and test taking and da 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 da. So those stories are great. But Achilles, you have to look him up on my YouTube. It will make your day. It'll bring you a lot of joy.
Perfect. Hey, I just followed all three of you on YouTube, so I'll be looking for Achilles right there. Love it. Sheldon, one brother. I know you've got 7 gazillion
It's
trillion.
hard.
I know.
I had a lot of time to really try to narrow it down to one. And the one that came up, I'm gonna call him Kyle. I'm not gonna share his real name, but he was a good kid. I loved him. I had the opportunity to work on the Native American reservation out in Idaho when I spent some time out there. The Shoshone and Bannock tribes, they're an amazing group of folks that embraced me in their community. And I was definitely a visitor, and I did not know anything in regards to Indigenous education, in regards to Indigenous culture in general. And when I say that, I want to clarify, like, I didn't know specifically to these tribes that were represented. So I saw stereotypical stuff, and I related it to all Indigenous people. And I really quickly learned that each tribe has their own things and their languages and customs and traditions. And so that was an honor to be able to be a part of that. But running their special ed program out there was interesting because you get to know a lot of students, and as you get to know them, sometimes you're like, wow, you don't have a disability at all. It's just you just miss a lot of school. You need some tutoring at best, but there's nothing that is impeding your progress academically or even on your behavior side of things that would result for you to be in this program. So I actually worked towards getting students exited out of the program. I didn't want lifers in SPED that didn't need to be in there. But this one particular kid, we're calling him Kyle. He was a larger kid, and it was good for me for a lot of reasons because he helped me break up a few fights. I mean, I'm 5'7" on a good day with some boots on, and those high schoolers, you know, they were giving me some trying to step in between them, trying to break up fights. Even the ladies, like it wasn't always
girl fight. Oof.
Intentional haymakers wasn't. But like there was a time when like these two boys were going at it, and I'm trying to step in between, and I was able to pull one away, but the other one was still trying to go in, and Kyle just jumped in and he separated the other kid. I mean, so that was my dude. But he had a troubled background. He had a lot of stuff back at home that he just didn't have a lot of stability with his father figure in his life. His mom was really kind, and so she would reach out to me and ask me for support with him. He got in trouble with school resource officer. I mean, he was a teddy bear, but like if you didn't know him, you just assumed that he was just a troublemaker. And he just was having some issues at home, just kind of being defiant, and he got sent off to one of those kind of like not a military school, but just like a program that was kind of had like discipline structure. That was kind of the emphasis. And the mom asked him, you know, is there anybody that you want to be like your mentor or somebody that you want to keep in touch with to kind of support you as you're going through this journey? Because they didn't have access to like cell phones and stuff like that. You know, they was very structured. And he asked for me. He came up to me and he said, "Hey, Dr. Akins, I would love for you to be my mentor. Would you serve as my mentor for me?" And I was like, absolutely. I mean, I didn't need paperwork. I didn't need to sign up for anything. Like I would have been your mentor either way. And you didn't even have to ask. And so, you know, I did do the official mentor process. And so we were writing letters back and forth during the school year. And he was telling me about his progress. He was telling me about things. And I was telling him about school and life and how we miss him and support him, and you know, very proud of him for doing the work that he's doing. And when he came back, when I tell you this dude had lost like 60 pounds, I almost didn't even recognize him. He had just shed it, like he's doing push-ups, pull-ups, you know, the whole nine, all this PT. And again, we just bonded and like went out to eat lunch, and just it was really good seeing him.
he's doing really well. He's doing like some amazing things. Somebody I keep up with from time to time, just check in to see how he's doing. I didn't want it to just be a school year thing and oh, okay, the program's over. It was just something that I really am proud of. And he's a good kid. He just has a lot of potential. And just like I said, if you didn't know him, you would have thought something because he was a larger dude, but man, he was a teddy bear, and he's the one that sticks out to me in this scenario here.
I love it.
Perfect. And you know what? You're right. Those kids love you. They're going to help you separate those fights. So true. So true. And just, Dr. Sheldon Akins, you really triggered me right now, sir. I'm gonna channel my inner 21st century. Not just the Gen Xer doesn't trigger that much 21st century. But you brought up two things that I really girl fights and cheerleading moms.
Oof.
Girl fights and cheerleading moms. If you want to lose 16 hours as an administrator, those two topics right there, cheerleading moms and girl fights. Moreno, stick.
Oh my God, those girl fights. Whew.
They're
Bringing me
scary.
back to
They never
memory.
end. They never end. Like they might have fought then, but it's the rest of the year. They're beefing.
She looked at me.
Boys
looked
can
at me.
make up and be good after the next day.
Absolutely.
But
Not the
it's
girl.
not the same. It's not
I
the
have
same with the girl
sisters.
fight.
Nope.
Wow. Yeah, that's a true fact. That's a fact. Guys, let's talk a little bit. I was somewhere out, traveling, doing some training, and I remember a student coming up to me and telling me, "Hey, I remember you. You were my principal back in the day." And so this story actually is kind of along those lines, because those are those treasured moments that I remember. But I'm going to go ahead and have Erica talk to us first. So, Erica, have you ever been positively blindsided by a former student or parent or colleague who told you made a difference in their career or life? And tell us about that interaction. So, when you're like in the middle of nowhere and then you're like, you remember this kid who comes up to you and says, "I remember you." And then you remember that person. You're like, "Oh my God, I never knew what you said to them actually made a difference." So anything like that ever happened to you before?
Yes, but I am the kind of person that I will think of this in about an hour or two. But on the spot, I'm like, my brain is scrambling right now. Do you guys feel that way? Because I've gotten so many emails or things, or it's these. I even have one sitting here. It's these end of the year letters the kids write you that you're like, I had no idea I made them feel that way. She says, I feel like I've known you forever. I will miss you so much. Thank you for making me smile more than I knew I could. It's things like that. I'd say one that, I have one student who ended up in digital media and came to me that he went to the college, Full Sail University, where I'm always using as an example. It's like a Hollywood school. And said that was the reason he went. But I just recently, actually, at the end of the school year, one of my videos, my very first videos we made was a kid and it was his idea, jumping up in the air, spinning around in slow-mo and chopping the word negativity to just went like this. And you can tell it's an old video from the footage. And I think he's well into his 20s now, maybe even more. And he came to visit me this past spring. And I was like shocked when I saw him. And he says, I just need you to know how much that helped me. Every time I hear the word negative or feel negative, I think of that moment.
Oh.
Yeah. And that to me is like, boom, your heart explodes. You're like, okay, I'm done. I will teach forever. And, so you have those moments. And I have also learned that I practice gratitude as an energy practice. Everyone's grateful for but gratitude is like throughout the day. What is a moment today where you laughed, Erica, and the student, or something today, even if it's one of those rotten fist fight days that we have to, what is, so practicing gratitude, I feel like I have these moments a lot, but yeah, that is one that jumps to my brain right now. And it was really cool to see him again. He wouldn't reenact it for me. I begged him, but
No,
He has kids now, but he's like, thank you for that. Thank you for that media, So that's why I do the mindful media. It's going to help.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. And so it's not often that we get back. We see our children back, right, as adults, and then we never knew how impactful we were. So I love these stories, and I think everybody out there needs to listen to this, especially because we're going back to school, right? And so listening to what we've done in the past and all those encounters. So awesome. Thank you so much, Erica, for sharing. Danny, how about you? Talk to us about that student that comes back to you years later and tells you, thank you so much for what you did.
Yeah, there's a bunch that thankfully I'm connected to on Facebook still. So they use that quite a bit. And I think the hack or the tip I want to share with anybody watching the show is like, we're given the birthdays, right? Reminders of everybody in our network, and just take a couple seconds and do something more than like, hey, happy birthday. Well, this is my recommendation. Do what you want. I don't care. But what I write, like the message is literally something like, hey, Josh, happy birthday. I hope you're doing everything you love with everybody you love, right? And so I typically send that to folks, and it's cool to see how old colleagues or students or whatever respond. So I'm thinking of Charles. He actually went to school, Mike. He was in a different grade. He was in one of my Avid classes, if you're familiar with that program. And so it was cool to see him go, like, enter the class, like sort of performing in the middle or below that, right? And then leaving doing quite well for himself, but just checking in and sending a little birthday message. Oh, Mr. Bauer, right? And then goes on. Here's pictures, like sending pictures of the girls, right? His daughters. He's trying to start a business, and so all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just awesome, right? So a million of stories like that. I'm sure everybody has them, but yeah, shout out to Charles.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm sure Charles also is sending you cheers virtually as well. So awesome. Thank you so much. And I love that you do that. I mean, we get those birthdays all the time on Facebook and whatnot. And it's not hard just to kind of send something back to them and let them know, happy birthday, but then giving them some love. So awesome. Thank you so much. You're continuing to do that. Dr. Akins, just one story. I know you have plenty, because your background is so unique. What you do is so unique. So, I mean, those are all the kids that, they need that support. So talk to us about one child that you can remember now that they're adults, that they come back to you.
Can I share a story about an adult that
would be great.
With? Okay.
So yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay. So I remember I was teaching an adjunct class. This was a EDD program that was all the individuals that were looking to earn an EDD, and it was leadership. And I had this assignment that was like, you had to come up with your own leadership strategy and how you would lead your group. And I had a student reach out to me and say, hey, can I talk to you? Can I schedule some time with you? And so I said, sure, absolutely. And this is a young Black lady, and she was working on her doctorate, and she said, I am just so intimidated. And I asked her, like, why? Well, this person's the director of HR, and this person's doing this, and they're already a school leader, and this person's doing so she just felt intimidated because all of her colleagues, all her peers had some sort of background to where they were just trying to earn their doctorate at this level, but they were already in some sort of leadership role. And I explained to her, I said, listen, everybody in this class is at the same level as you are. And y'all are all learning at the same exact time. You don't have a reason to be intimidated. But then the piece that she added to this is like another layer to this conversation was she said, I have to be honest. I went through kindergarten. I went through elementary, middle, high, college. You're the first Black teacher I've ever had. Wow. Like, I'm at the doctoral level now, and I've never had a Black teacher ever. And she said, so I don't want to let you down because you have all these other students in here and I feel like I have to bring a level, like next level of A game, if you will. But I'm so intimidated by my colleagues, by my peers, and then I don't want to let you down. I don't want to disappoint you because I'm the only black girl in this class. And we just had like a conversation to where I talked her into just trying to help her. I try to help her understand that I completely understand where you come from, and I've been in these type of spaces myself. However, I'm here to support, and your peers are actually here to support you as well. So they're going to learn from you just like you're going to learn from them. You're not going to let me down. I just want you to do your best. And once I had that conversation with her, I could see the layers, like I could see her starting to soften up and feel a little bit better about the situation. And she did well. She did well in the class, but just sometimes you just don't expect certain things. Like I'm walking, I'm going into the Zoom call expecting this to be, very business-like and, instructional. But no, we had one of those kind of conversations that I could relate to, she could relate to, and she just was really wanting to do her best in that program.
Oh, you were a really good listener. You didn't tell her anything. I mean, you were just a good listener, and you empathized, and that's such a beautiful story. And especially because it was an adult and you were in the EDD program. I mean, that's not an easy task already to go into. So the fact that she felt that way, and then the way you made her feel, that's such a beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for doing that, because most professors would be like, get to work, don't worry about it, move on, kind of thing. It's the chop, chop, chop. So thank you so much. It's so rewarding to have awesome, awesome professors out there that are still doing those kinds of things, because that's what we still need. Educators need that, right, Josh? And I know you're going to tell everybody about these books that you're going to tell everybody about.
Hey, but hey, guess first, if you haven't followed, they all have YouTube channels. Follow them right now. Look at their names. They're right there. Follow them right now on YouTube. I'm just letting you know that's how those algorithms grow, and you get their specific knowledge. Hey, and if you want more specific knowledge, hey, Dr. Sheldon, do you have anything you want to promote right now if people want to get into your space?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I do have a channel. It's Akins Teaches on YouTube. So thank you so much. If you're not following, please follow. The book that I have right here is Meaningful Classroom Management. I've been doing a lot of work with classroom management, and I've never been a fan of that term. I like the whole community, and again, creating not just buy-in with your students, but also the ownership side of things as well. So if you are looking for any type of support in that area, Purposeful Teaching Academy is the consulting side of things, in addition to my podcast, Leading Equity. Outside of that, those, you can always follow me on Instagram at Sheldon Akins. And I'm on LinkedIn as well at Sheldon Akins.
And he's in the trenches, baby. He ain't faking the funk. He's like literally in the green screen gal guy.
Not as much as these awesome people. I've been busy. I hopefully have a lot more coming up. I'm working on a digital book, but I'm also working on something with Tony Vincent. Tony Vincent is one of my favorite educators. I was a huge fangirl, and now I get to work with him, and it's a dream come true. So we're working on I'm going blank with the website right now, but I think Tony has it on his Learning in Hand website. We are making a online course for Canva video and all kinds of creative video production. So teachers and administrators and school districts can just have it as their PD or whatever, and everyone will be quite the expert in using video production, which is, I'm a huge advocate for it as an assessment tool. These kids are TikTok babies, whether we like it or not. And I just feel like video, I want to get teachers over the fear. So I'm here to help you do that and have some fun with video production. Yeah. Oh, you can find me on Green Screen Gal everywhere. Green Screen Gal 44 is the only number attached to one of mine, in the Instagram and greenscreengal.com and YouTube and all the things. But
perfect. Danny Bauer.
Yeah, I think if you search Danny Bauer or Hey Danny Bauer, I'll pop up, right? If you want to find me, it's pretty easy. BetterLeadersBetterSchools.com is the website. That's the name of the show. as well. So I have a podcast. If this is a way you like to learn, I think I've got 6 books. This is my 4th Amazon bestseller called Retention is the Result. So this one's about like attracting and then keeping high quality educators on your campus. So I think that's like very practical, and talks about different ways that you can really set yourself apart as a campus. But those are most of the things, there's deeper ways to get involved. I'll just plant one seed, head over to myprincipalcoach.com. Check it out. If it seems like something you like to get into, there's a couple opportunities to get support there. But yeah, I think Josh has alluded that I've cloned myself, and I have. And the coolest thing, I mean, honestly, I've seen 2 principals, Jess, Fred, join in the last 3 months. Jess had 808 conversations in the last 90 days. Fred's had 1,024, right? And they are getting support when they want it, right, in the moment, and asking a whole bunch of questions, right, that's going to help them create a campus experience worth showing up for. So it's not like ChatGPT. It doesn't tell you you're smart, right? It doesn't say all your ideas are good. It's not plugged into the internet, and it doesn't give you general advice. So if you're looking for like a heart surgeon versus a primary care physician, yeah, check out myprincipalcoach.com.
Nice.
Awesome. And like always, promote. I am a Fundamental 5 guy. Been doing it for 11 years, and I'll be presenting at the national conference in Austin. Sean Kane, the new book on pedagogy. Loved it. And there's this book I've been promoting for many episodes. Some guy called Danny's part of it. He's some guy, you might know him. He might be very close to us right now. And that awesome dude with a beautiful heart, Superintendent Glenn Robbins. His 2 books right there, Calming the Chaos and I Won't Back Down, talking about those people that put that black cloud over educators and say you can't do it. And he compares it to musicians. Like that loser Jimi Hendrix that never did anything in life. Yeah, he was told he couldn't do anything. That loser Tom Petty, he never amounted to anything. That's a great thing about Superintendent Glenn Robbins. He ties it in right there. And yours truly connected with another young lady on this call right now. Part of Barbara Bray, and Erica, and yourself. 23 Stories by 23 Educators. Grow Your Why. I'm on chapter 23. Erica, what's your chapter?
Chapter 11.
And if you don't like reading and you like just audiobooks, this was the very first book with all the authors read their chapters. And yours truly right here with Tony Hinchcliffe, 15 principals from around the country. Yours truly part of it right there. So we're about, bot. I got a bot. Hold on. Let me get rid of that bot. Hold on. Let me get rid of him. How dare you, bot? All right. I can't get rid of him now. Darn it. Okay. So let's finish off real quick, and I'll work on getting rid of that bot right there. So let's give advice to a brand or to teachers right now for the 26-27 school year. Sheldon.
For a brand new teacher, to a student or a teacher?
To a teacher.
Oh, to a teacher. Lock in. It's a brand new year. We have a lot more accessibility when it comes to AI. When I was a teacher, I didn't have AI. So it's a lot different now these days. Lock in.
True.
Danny, give advice. I know you got it.
I have a few things. I'll say one. Play your game. Play your own game, right? I think a lot of educators don't realize that they're playing a game that somebody else invented. And if you see like over my shoulder here, that ruler, if I took that off the ground, it says measure what matters. And so you can get really good measuring at stuff that does not matter, right? And if I were to ask you, like, how do you measure success, right, during the school year? Yeah, maybe you might say like student achievement and attendance and all this kind of stuff. That's what everybody says. But I'm sure that there should probably be like a deeper why going on inside you. And so make sure you're measuring that, because probably the system's not going to be measuring it, right? That's on you to do.
Perfect.
Okay, for teacher, correct? Okay. I would say, I say a lot, perfection isn't the goal, connection is. And goes along with everything I said here about connecting with those kids and seeing how they're doing. And Even yourself, checking in with yourself, because we try to be so perfect, but it's more about connection. And kids that are happy, will learn. So it's much more powerful, I think, is connection. And also practicing gratitude. Like I said, throughout your day. I mean, some days I saw a squirrel and my coffee was good, and that's it. But it's okay to have those days. But just, try to change your brain chemistry to look for the good throughout your day. It makes you very happy.
Thank you for sharing, panel. Thank you very much. Mari.
Alrighty, guys. This is the last question, and it's super, super easy because it's a fill in the blank. So we're going to start off with Dr. Akins. Finish the sentence, sir. Hey, educator, know that
you are not in this alone, and that you can always reach out to folks for help.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Good advice. Danny, hey, educator, know that.
You matter.
Oh. Erica, hey, educator, know that.
He stole mine. But it's true. It's true. You do matter. You matter, and just find some self-love, because self-love you will radiate that love to your students.
Awesome. Awesome. Josh, I had a great time, and we're getting ready for the Echale Ganas questions. I can't wait to hear the responses.
Time, Moreno. The PGP podcast is about ganas. Ganas. Hey, Hispanics, we're not a monolith. I can guarantee you that. Our foods are totally different. Our frijoles are totally different. We don't all eat papusas. The way that we talk is totally, the speed that we talk is totally different. Every time I talk to one of my Puerto Rican brothers, I'm like, hold on, cálmate, hold on. What did you just say? It's all different, baby. But you know one word unites us all. Ganas. Bolivia, Peru, Argentina, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico. We're all united by that one word. So when I ask you this lightning round, folks. Lightning round, not dissertations, lightning round. When I ask you these questions, yo quiero que le eches puras ganas. And we're going to start off with you, Erica. Here we go. Give advice to a freshman in high school about their future.
Find something you love and something you're naturally good at, and someday make them the same. Quick example, my friend, he loved math. He was very good at it. He didn't want to be an accountant. He loved baseball. He went to work for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he was their number cruncher. He's now the manager. True story. Good at love, make them the same.
Read a note, an email, or text from a parent or colleague or student that inspired you with their words. Did I freeze?
I don't know. I'm not frozen.
Did you hear me?
He froze. Oh, there he is.
Read a note, an email, or text from a parent or colleague or student that inspired you with their words.
Hey, I'll just pop in. So, anyways, my podcast producer. Yeah, hey, listen, hey, it's all good. My podcast producer wrote me, and he just said, "Hey, I'm in a period of life made me reflect more deeply on people who truly had positive influence on me over the years, and I realized you're one of those people, right?" So, but the nice thing, he goes on, it's much longer, but he's like, not just professionally, but personally as well, like things that I teach on the podcast. It's cool that my producer's actually like listening and growing from the content, and he's not even in education.
All right, Danny, then we'll pick it up with you. Give advice to a high school freshman. Give advice to a high school freshman.
Just don't take everything so seriously. You're young. You got a long time ahead of you. So chill out.
Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you with their work. Name and title.
Man, I'm excited to be here with Sheldon. So I haven't seen him in a minute. And yeah, so I'm just going to throw him flowers. He's the best.
What summer vacation spot stands out? What summer vacation stands out and you want to visit again?
Maybe connecting to the ganas. I got to hang out in Medellin, Colombia, right, and do a business conference, and then we did whitewater rafting and spent a night in the rainforest camping, which was insane. So I love that a lot.
What are your two favorite flavors of ice cream?
None and none. I don't like ice cream, so I don't like any of the flavors. It don't matter to me.
What is your favorite action movie?
Terminator 2 if it was growing up, but if it's more modern, John Wick.
If you had all the financial means, which continent would you live with your family for a month?
It would be for life, and we would move to Zimbabwe in Africa.
Aw.
What do you do when it's time for you to recalibrate and focus on yourself?
Read, work out, or meditate.
How can the audience once again get a hold of you, sir?
Type into Google Danny Bauer. You'll find me.
Love it. Sheldon, here we go. Give advice to a freshman in high school about their future.
Middle school's over. This really counts when you hit high school.
Read a note, an email, or text from a parent, or colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
I had someone comment on one of my YouTube videos. Fellow brother in Phoenix area, father of 5, homeschool 4, and every kid 3 to second. And they played sports. Well, I've taught in a traditional classroom. I've taught young athletes, church, youth groups, etc. And I'm definitely subbing to your channel overall. I had many coaches try to tell me that I couldn't have access to my kids on Sundays, and that was a family day, but that was our boundary. I appreciate this conversation. Look forward to checking out more of your vids.
Send some flowers to an active colleague who inspires you in your work. Name and title.
Yeah, I would say Danny as well. He's the one that got me into podcasting, going to one of his sessions years ago, and I learned so much from him.
What summer vacation spot stands out and you want to visit again?
I want to go back to Orlando from ISTE. I had fun. So we went to Universal, a few of the parks, so that was a good time.
What are your 2 favorite ice cream flavors?
I do like ice cream. Okay, I want to be clear about that. But cookies and I'm just playing. Cookies and cream and strawberry, probably.
What's your favorite action movie?
I just saw Odyssey last night, so I'm gonna put that at my number 1 for right now.
If you had all the financial means, which continent would you live with your family for 1 month?
1 month. I want to try South America. I haven't been there.
What do you do when it's time for you to recalibrate, sir?
Roller skate is the number 1 go-to, and then hit the gym.
And how can, once again, people reach out and get a hold of you?
At Sheldon Akins on just about all the platforms.
Got it. Erica, we're going to come back to you.
Okay.
We left off on question number 2. Ready?
Yes.
Read a note, an email, a text, or parent, colleague, or student that inspired you with their words.
Okay, so this one I got recently at the ISTE conference. A woman came up to me, Hanan Atia, said, Erica's breathing bubble is my go-to activity for students who wish to express themselves through the spirit of mindfulness and meditation. My students are so proud to continue their work on the breathing bubble outside of the classroom, often creating more than one for different occasions. It's a template that empowers self-expression and self-reflection. Thank you, Erica. And that made, I hear a lot from kids about it, but to hear from an educator like that was great.
Love it. Send some flowers to an active colleague that inspires you in your work. Name and title.
Well, all of you, but I had trouble choosing. I have 2 besties at work, Heather Behrens and Elaine Berry. But Heather Behrens is a science teacher, and she is the teacher who takes them outside and goes to the pond that we have on our campus. And she is constantly talking me up at work. She just talks about Green Screen Gal and all that stuff, and she's just been amazing. Yes, send her some flowers.
Oh, tell her that it's forever on YouTube, right? She's forever codified there. So, what summer vacation spot stands out and you want to visit again?
Iceland. I went in August, and you can get a break from the heat, but it's magical. It's like Ireland and Switzerland mixed together with a bunch of trolls and fairies. It's amazing.
What are your 2 favorite ice cream flavors?
Okay, thanks to my dad, orange sherbet with hot fudge. You have to have hot fudge in it, and also chocolate, peanut butter, and moose head. We're tied. I mean, moose tracks, moose head. Yeah, moose head is delicious.
Hey, well, yeah, it can be. What is your favorite action movie?
Love Mission Impossible because I want to figure out how they filmed it. But my recent favorite is Hail Mary, the Project Hail Mary. None of you have seen it yet. Please go watch it tonight.
If you had the financial means, which continent would you live with your family for a whole month?
Australia, mate. I love all my friends from Aussie friends. I need to go to Australia and be there.
When you need to recalibrate and focus on yourself, you
paddleboard, yoga, the mat, all that, but paddleboard. Yes.
And tell the audience again how they can get a hold of you, young lady.
Well, I think if you Google my name, Erica Sanchon with a K, you'll see it. Green Screen Gal and your YouTube. And I have a new podcast I forgot to tell you about. It's for my students, it's called Beyond the Halls. We only have one episode up, but we just launched it, and I'm very excited about it from a student perspective. Yes.
Thank you, panel. Thank you very much for being here tonight. And let me tell you, if you did not like or share any of this, there must be something wrong with you because you're not in education. Because era puro corazón hoy. And that's exactly how we're supposed to roll together, guys. Because it doesn't matter if you're in Maine or you're in Florida. It doesn't matter if you're in Alaska or you're in Hawaii or anywhere in the 48 middle. We're all going through the same thing. We're all going through budget cuts. Our kids are moving from this place to that place. They're not going up to school. Attendance is low. We can't find educators out there. We're all facing the same situation. It doesn't matter where. And we're only stronger together. The days of going to those big conferences, they're over, guys. The days of sending 10 teachers and getting a PO and everyone gets their own hotel room, that's over. This is free PD. What Sheldon offers, what Danny offers, what Erica offers, is all free PD for you. There's no excuses. All you need to do is use this and reach out. Reach out to somebody. And 97% of educators will reach back to you. You'll find out those 3% real quick. I'll tell you right now. But those 97% are out there, and they're here to help you because we know what it is to be in the trenches. We know what it is to be facing all those different obstacles, and we know about the love for what it is for this profession. So thank you very much for being here. Join us next week for our Parent Roundtable number 1. Parent Roundtable number. Oh, we have a Heather Behrens from Canada was here today. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Next week, our very first parent Beavers. I'm sorry, I don't know. The inner Mexican came out there, Eric. All right, you know there's certain barriers. Right?
Shout out. I didn't know she was here.
All right, Mexicans have problems with it being an ESL student. So join us, panel. Say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Thank you, everybody. Like and share, and please follow us on YouTube.